Husqvarna. We're going to be, a couple of things that we're going to do. We're going to be replacing the belt, and we're also going to replace the bearings on the rear wheel. This is what happens when the bearings go bad. Let's start with the tools that you're going to need. Don't start working on this machine or any equipment wearing clothes that you generally walk about out in public. They're going to get dirty, and then you're going to probably throw them out. And also, don't wear sandals, because if something falls on your feet, it's going to hurt. These are the tools that are required for this job. 13mm socket, 14mm socket, and an 8mm socket or a 5/16. I also highly recommend you get a locking pliers. Needle nose is going to be helpful. Now, if you're going to replace this pulley, then you definitely need to use the T30. So let's get to it. 14 mil. Balls, plastic balls, or these kind of balls, it really doesn't matter. So all the wheel nuts and bolts are going to go together, and so on and so on. I'm going to remove the wheel. Okay, so be careful. This is a bearing right here, and this could come off, fall on you, and then you have to replace it. I'm going to be replacing these anyway. Don't lose these. So there's two of them, one on the outside, one on the inside. You also have a spacer. It just pulls right out. There you go. And here's the other bearing right here. And they work, they turn for about $10. I picked up 4. I'm going to be doing both left and right side. So the reason why we took this off, this is the card. Pull that up. Pull the guard out. Stay together. And I'm going to punch this one out with my needle nose. The next thing we're going to need to do to make sure that this is on the highest number. So let me give you a closer look. We have 2 bolts. We need the little one, which is a 5/16. We remove this one on both sides. And there's 4 of these. The other 2 are underneath this right here, which is for the bag. So these are the other 2. There's one right here, and there's one right here. We're going to do the same thing here. All right, so same thing with this wheel. Make sure we remove the spacer once we remove the wheel, and we also remove the ball bearing. Remove the cover. We have that other bolt that we need to remove. Now I'm going to put this lawnmower on the ground. Okay, so now that we have it on the ground, the 2 rear wheels are removed. There's 2 other bolts that you need to remove. This one and that one. These are also an 8mm or a 5/16. Now that all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts are removed, we're going to tilt it over. Before I tilt it over, I need to say this. This is the fuel tank. On the other side is the oil. Never tilt the lawnmower this way, where the fuel is facing down. It's gonna mess up your engine. You always tilt it with the fuel up and the oil closer to the ground. If you recall the 2 bolts that we removed on the side and the 2 rear ones right here, this allows us to remove this. It's a plastic cover, but before we can get a hold of this, we need to remove the blade and we need to remove this plastic cover right here. The 2 screws that are on top here, on top of the lawnmower, they are the ones that keep this piece in place. And there's also, or a bolt I should say, that removes this whole piece. So let's remove the blade first. I don't know what I did with my 2x4, but this is a 4x4. You don't really need a 4x4. 2x4 will do fine. You secure the blade so it doesn't spin on you when you are removing that bolt. So this bolt is a 14mm. So hold on to this 4x4 to keep the blade from spinning, and you go counterclockwise to loosen it. Everything that you loosen goes counterclockwise. Now this bolt right here comes with a washer and a lock washer. Now in your case, this might be stuck. This blade might be stuck and you might not be able to remove it as easily as I have. I'm just doing a video today to show you guys how I did it. So you might have to grab a little hammer and, you know, knock on it a little bit, get it loose. There is a bolt right there, and that is a 13mm. It might be useful if you use an extension. It doesn't have to be this long. Counterclockwise. So now this piece is going to come out easily, just like that. And this is going to come out easily as well. But before we remove this, there's a spring that we have to unlatch with a nose pliers. So the spring, I don't know if you can see it or not, is right there. I just pulled it out to make it easy for me to remove the spring. So needle nose and remove it from both sides. If you don't and you lose it, this is a $10 piece, and I'm saying that because I lost mine and I had to buy a new one. So remove this plastic. I'm going to use my 2x4 and I'm going to put it underneath my engine, or 4x4 I should say. Put it underneath my engine so it doesn't keep on rolling forward. We have to disconnect the cable for the transmission. We have to remove this. There we go. And if you push this foot in, and it just comes out. As long as your handle is all the way back here. It can't be touching the bar because then that puts tension on it. You're not going to be able to remove this cable. This cable is disconnected. The next step, you just need to loosen it enough to twist it out of place so you can pull the belt out. And this is a 13 millimeter. There we go, just pull it up this way and twist it, and the belt comes off easily. Remove it from here. Now, if you're going to replace this pulley, then you definitely need to use the T30. And it pulls right out. I'm going to grease this a little bit with a little bit of lithium grease. If you don't have grease or lithium grease, this works too. And replace it with a new one. Doesn't have to be super tight. If this does not spin and you decide to skip this, your belt is going to wear out quick. So now we have the transmission facing towards us. There's a guide right here, and there's a guide right here, and right here is that hole for the spring that we removed a few minutes ago. So that spring connects in there, and then it connects to the plastic cover that we removed. So to remove the belt from this pulley, you use a locking pliers, but it has to be thin enough to fit in between here and press tight. What we want to do is keep that from spinning. So we can use it's a 14 millimeter socket in here, and hold on to this pliers and counterclockwise this way to remove it. That's good news, because I thought it'd be a lot harder than that. This nut is welded to the pulley, so it's going to come off with a pulley, and you don't have to take it off completely. You just have to take it off enough to remove the belt. This is what the old belt is. That's the reason why I'm replacing it. We grab the new belt, you put it back on, you hold it like this, because the belt has to go on the inside of this guide and on the inside of this guide. So you hold it like this, you put it back on, and you twist it back in place with your hand first before you use a ratchet. Now we're putting everything back together. So we want to tighten everything. Whenever you tighten a nut and a bolt, it goes clockwise. Oh, this thing is not holding enough. I'm going to have to tighten it just a little bit. Before we put the belt back on, connect the cable that goes to the bar at the top of the lawnmower. So now that's in place. You put the belt in the groove here, and you take this and you put it in this roller pin, and then you bring this down. 13 millimeter. Don't forget to leave a gap right here so the belt doesn't jump out of place. The gap should be 1/4 of an inch. And everything looks good. So without any tension, this is going to turn without spinning the belt. This is good. This is good. The cable is in place. We are ready to put the plastic cover that goes here. So this right here, this is where the belt goes. Let's not forget the spring. If you don't put it on now, you're gonna have a hard time doing it later. It doesn't want to go. All right. And then the other side goes into this hole right here. That spring goes over that cable, not underneath it. Grab my needle hose. So now this is in place. Use your fingers. Twist it a couple of times. And you don't tighten it, you leave it loose. You want things to be loose until all the screws are in place. All 4 screws are in place. And then why I don't like working on the grass is if I drop this, it's gonna be hard for me to find it. Okay, 2 more screws that are loose, almost all the way. The next step is to put this cover on. And there's two holes right here. These 2 holes line up with 2 small tabs that are on this plastic piece right here. And you have 13 millimeter right here. It's tough to put in, so I'm going to use my extension. Okay, tighten it up. Doesn't have to be too tight. Final piece is the blade, well, for the bottom part anyway. 14 millimeter. And a 2x4 for this to keep the blade from spinning. There we go. Transmission bounces back once you push it in. You're going to turn it over. You have to lift it a little bit. Put your hand underneath and push that plastic piece up so where you can see the screw. Just tighten it with your hand. And the other one should be visible. So that's done. Next part, I'm going to tilt over and the cover. You would think this center goes on there, but it does not. The center actually goes right here. These are the new bearings. So they're flanged. There's like a little lip right here. And that actually goes right in here, just like that. Now, here's another thing that I have wrong with my tire, and I'm not willing to replace it right now. I might never, I don't know. But I have a crack right here. But for now, I'm gonna leave. So I'm gonna put the bearings like that. Gonna hold it. We are going to put the spacer right in there. And then we're gonna put this right on top. Push it with your thumb. And that's it. Now you put it back on here. There we go. This is a nut and a washer all in one. And it's spinning beautifully because we have the oil on this side. Instead, I'm gonna have to do all the work that I need to do sideways. So we have this one right here, and that's gonna go in here. Now it might not line up, and to make it easier for me, it's gonna push it up just a little bit. Good enough. Put this as low as possible so I can keep the wheel from touching the ground while I put it on. We got the 2 new bearings and the spacer. So centerpiece goes here. There we go. There we go. Turn it over. Put the spacer. And there we go. Looks like it's a 14. We're going to start it up. Usually what happens when you work on these machines, you're going to get some white smoke coming out of here, but that's going to go away. Don't forget to raise the setting here. I usually put it around 6. I hope this helps somebody fix their own lawnmower. That's my goal. Thanks for watching.